Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac and Kole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joann Kandrac and Kole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hi everybody, it's Joann and Kole. This is episode 4, and we're going to talk about why antiques are cool and what we saw at the Antique and Garden Show in Nashville. So this is the biggest show of its kind in the country. There's 150 exhibitors, 15,000 attendees. This is also open to the trade, so the average Joe can walk around and check out these beautiful, beautiful things. So we saw furniture, collections that we're going to talk about that were really, really unique, art from the Charleston Art Collective, jewelry, unique items, concrete planters, flowers, succulents, and all of these different neat items that we walked around as we were scouring the show.
So, but it was really nice to see all the garden, in the middle of winter. They had these beautiful garden exhibits inside, inside the exhibit hall that we were at. So, a lot of the antique dealers that we saw a few of our buddies from Scott's.
Yeah, these dealers, they traipse around the country going to all these different shows.
Yeah, and these are people that we're gonna the local or average Joe would find on One Kings Lane, Chairish, everything but the house is a big new one, and First Dibs. Yeah, so it was just so fun. It was a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna. It sounds huge, but it was very doable.
And
yeah. So we thought we would talk about why antiques are cool because, we went to this show, and of course there was some really high-end stuff that was amazing.
I think when most people think of antiques, they think of expensive, and they think of brown.
Yes, and we know that the millennials, they don't like brown. They don't like anything.
They don't want our stuff.
They don't want our stuff. It's so depressing. When I downsized, I'll talk about this for a while because I learned so much from downsizing. But I had all these antiques that my grandparents and my great-grandparents, I had passed down, and I love them so much, but I was in a traditional house, and I moved to this kind of cool, urban, more contemporary house, and none of it worked, and I was so upset, and I didn't want to upset my mom, and so I had to sell some of it. Like I sold my grandmother's dining room table and chairs, but some of it I just couldn't do it. It had generations of history in our family, and I'm thinking, how can I incorporate this? And of course, my kids, who are 24 and 21, were like, "Ew, Mom, no, no way." So one thing that I did that I think everybody needs to think about, and don't be afraid, but paint this stuff, okay? So
when you're walking out of it from the antique store, don't tell the owner that you're doing that.
Yeah, just go home and do it. Or hire somebody that really knows how to do it well, because there's nothing worse than a bad coat of paint slapped on a beautiful antique. So we're talking about doing this really well. But here's a perfect example. When my parents were getting married, they lived in New York City, and they bought this sideboard for their dining room from a hotel on Park Avenue that was going out of business. And so growing up, this was always, the sideboard in our dining room that held the dishes, and we had it, and then my mom and dad gave it to us, and my husband and I had it in our house for years. And so here we come in this new house, and I don't have a dining room. So what I did was I lacquered it this beautiful gray. I filled all the holes because the hardware wasn't that great. Sometimes the hardware is great, but filled in all the holes, and did this, chose this unlacquered brass pulls for all of the drawers, and it is now my dresser, which I love because it has all these weird side drawers and small drawers where the sterling silver was supposed to go
that are not normally in a dresser.
Yeah.
So where the silverware goes, you can put your socks in there.
Exactly,
and whatever. So
and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this piece. I did the same exact thing in my daughter's room. I remember when we hunted down, I was on a mission. I was dragging Joann all around Atlanta for another sideboard, and I found one for Emery's bedroom that actually is prettier than mine. It's got these beautiful curves, and the hardware, we kept it, and I had it lacquered a deep pink. and it's not tacky, y'all. It is so
It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. So the other thing that I did, I have this corner cabinet that was in my formal living room, which I don't have anymore, and it held all my silver. And it was my great-grandmother's. I can't get rid of that thing. It's brown. It wasn't really even in great shape. So I had it painted white, and it's now in my daughter's room.
It looks like a completely different piece.
But it's got so much character, and it's so beautiful, and the glass is old, and so it's in the corner of her bedroom, and I filled it with books and mementos. But the silver that was in it needed a home, and this is something that a lot of you probably have, and it's tucked away in a cabinet, and you never ever use it, is all this sterling silver that I also inherited. And it's bowls, and it's these beautiful tea kettles and pitchers. And so when I built my house, I had these glass cabinets put in the kitchen with really pretty seated glass, and then we lit it up with LED lights.
It's so beautiful looking at the kind of the modern cabinets with the beautiful old silver, the mix of old and new is,
Yes.
I think, what really you're seeing a lot of, and what really makes a home kind of cozy and
Yeah.
Cool.
And I love it. It's a very important collection for me. It's on display as collections should be, which we're going to talk a lot about. And when my kids are on my nerves and they want to earn some money, they have to polish that silver.
There you go. Okay, here's your punishment. I'm taking away your phone, and you have to polish the silver.
So that leads right into why collections are so important.
So speaking of the silver, years and years ago, I don't even remember where it was, we went to a show house, and they had a display of silver trays with old photos in them. And that had stuck with me, but I didn't end up even trying or attempting to do it till years later. And what I've done in my upstairs hall, I have a really interesting piece that I got in High Point. Paul Burrell, who was Princess Diana's butler, ended up doing a line of furniture with the Highland House. And so it's 9 openings that are, it's kind of an octagon. And so I have all the trays.
And this is all on the wall.
This is all on the walls. All the trays are sitting in this piece. So what I did was, of course, I had to clean them all. I went ahead and made templates of all of the sizes. You know, some were round, some were oval, some were big, some were small. And then I have a lot of old pictures in there, like my parents' old wedding, photo, and then some of, my kids when they were babies, but I've turned everything black and white, put some sticky tack on them and put them up. It is one of those things that makes me so happy when I walk past it, and nobody has that.
And are these trays, are they sterling, a pewter, or are they a mix?
They really are a mix. They're not all fine, but, you got to keep them kind of polished, and some are, not, like I said, not the super high end, but they look great. Mm-hmm. I did a blog post on it, actually, giving a step-by-step instruction if anybody wants to do it. Just look under, I think I named it, "Look What I Did!" ! Because I was so excited. So that's a really cool collection. One of my favorite things that we saw at the show was a company called Museum Bees. And this is a man who purchased a large quantity of antique frames from the 1860s to the 1880s. And he has remade them into small frames anywhere from like 1 to 6 inches. Most of them are like an octagon shape. And then he takes.
They're so old.
What
and
are
so
the little,
intricate.
like the bead? Like what are they? They're
like appliques or something.
Most of them are
like
gold, metal, the gold. Then he puts a little bit of jade on some of them. They're so unique. I can't even really explain them. You really need to go to the website. It's called Museum Bees. And what he does on the back of them, you'll see he signs them. His name is Trace. He's from Kentucky. And then there was these letters on there, which I didn't know what they were. And I asked him. He said what he does. He actually stole this idea from a company in Shelbyville, Kentucky, which is not far from where he lives, that sells some incredible Julep Cups. Now, these can be really, really... they're highly rare. They're hard to find. Their claim to fame was they used to stamp the bottom of these with the initials of the current president. And then once the president was out of the office, they stopped making that one. And if he served a second term, I think they put a 2 on the bottom or whatever. So he decided that he wanted to do something like that, but he decided for the year that he was making the frames to put the initials of the winner of the Kentucky Derby. So the back of mine, the ones I just happened to buy, have an AD. So the winner of last year's Kentucky Derby was Always Dreaming. So it has AD, and then it has his signature trace. And it's just...
So does he treat it like the mint julep cups? Like, does he make those again after that year's over?
No, so whatever year that he's making them is the year of that winner of the Kentucky Derby.
And then he doesn't repeat.
And he doesn't repeat. So for 2018, they'll be new.
Yeah. I'm so glad I bought 3 because they're going in they're so little, you got to kind of buy a bunch of them. But I'm putting them in a new gallery that I'm putting together in my hallway.
Yeah. So right near him, too, was someone had taken vintage bathing suits and had framed them. There's just something about those old bathing suits, even the ones the men wore, were just so cool. Like if I was doing a pool, like a dressing area for a pool, or even just a bathroom.
Yeah.
That
would look so good on shiplap.
Yep. And then the flags, like you were saying, didn't...
bathing caps, those are the kind of bathing suits my grandma wore on the beaches of Long Island.
Yeah.
I mean, that would look so cool. I wish I had one of her bathing suits.
Yeah, you just these are things you look twice at and you wonder, that's really different. It's different than just walking into a store and buying a piece of art. This is a story. This is kind of a story. And then the other vendor we found that we love is a company called Southern Beasts, Beasts, and this woman.
She was so funky cool.
She was really cool. She's from Round Top, Texas, which is another antique show we've been dying to go to. But she upholsters animals. All right, so try to imagine. So these are antique fabrics like needlepoint tapestry, and she covers dogs, pigs, deer heads, hats.
Oh, she had top hats.
She had top hats
cool.
that were, so just really different stuff.
Yeah, and of course, she was in pigtails and a cowboy hat, and I just totally thought she was the coolest thing. So it was really fun looking at all those collections. The other collection that we saw was art. Now, if you are not an art collector, if you have no original art in your home, I really encourage you to start thinking about this. You might say, oh, that's just not my gig. I don't want to spend money on that. It doesn't interest me. Okay, well, I get it, but just try. Like if you're ever at you're at a farmer's market, a flea market, a thrift store, art galleries are everywhere in cute towns.
And don't be intimidated. I used to be very intimidated walking into an art gallery. They were always very quiet, and I always felt like these people knew, all about kinds of things I didn't understand. But it really isn't. Once you kind of get in there.
Every art gallery owner is so thrilled to just have somebody walk in and show some interest. So one thing that we spent a lot of time in, it was this booth that was by the Nashville Art Collective, and we'd already known about the Art Collective from Charleston. And the Art Collective is an organization that gathers emerging artists and really encourages art being born from these new artists. And the art really ranges from high to low, big to small, all different kinds of art. It was a really bright spot at the show.
Yeah.
And there was this one huge piece of art. It's on our Instagram right now of Dolly Parton that was done in 4,000 bottle caps. It is the most amazing thing by this artist, Molly Wright. If you look her up on Instagram, she does amazing stuff.
From a distance, you just see Dolly Parton, and then as you get closer and you get right up on top of it, it's bottle caps.
It was so cool. I mean, even if it's not your taste, you got to appreciate.
But she's done Jackie O. I mean, she's done some famous people, and how she gets them to look like the person, I just can't. My mind doesn't go there.
Yeah. But just remember that art is a personal thing. It's really what speaks to you and what you might be interested in. And start small. Just buy, a piece or two, put it in a small space, and you'll always, the thing that I love is I always remember where I was when I bought it, what the gallery was, the conversation. Maybe I met the artist, maybe they told me the story behind it, how much it cost, because sometimes
you can kind of think of them as souvenirs. You know?
That's why we bought the museum bees. We were like, we'll always remember that we were here together. It's the first time we'd ever been to Nashville, and we met this cool guy.
I'll be sitting in my granny rocker that's probably painted, lime green, and looking at that museum bee and remembering when I was young and in Nashville. Anyway. But some of the others, when you go to these kind of shows, there's so many different things, and the people that sell them are really into them. There's a few places that had old religious coins, which is all kind of the rage in jewelry, but they're the heavy ones. They can tell you the whole story of when these when these were made and what they're all about. The brooches, the pins, those, can be used on pillow. Just you got to get creative with this stuff. Pocket watches. And there's a dealer that's at Scott's Antiques that has been an antique dealer for a while, and she collects old coin purses, the very rare couture ones
from Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she turns them into necklaces. And
the stories that she tells about those purses are so cool, like how women back in the day, they didn't really have their own money because it was the man's money, and this is where they would kind of
keep their one little coin that they had.
They would hide their stash.
Yeah. So the story, just listening to her tell the stories, you could tell she's so into it. And she has these people, I guess, who are pickers or whatever you call them, that are out and they find them and they get them for her. So
her website.
Yeah, storyology.com.
Yeah,
storyologydesign.com.
That's some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Scott's Antique Market, we are gonna leave you this today, and when we're done here, and we're gonna go straight down to Scott's Antique Market, which is one of the largest antique markets in the country. We are so lucky that it's here in Atlanta. It's the second weekend of every month, and we really try to go.
We've got all kinds of friends there.
We try to go. Yeah, we got all kinds of boyfriends and girlfriends, as often as we can for an assortment of things. But today we got to hunt for. We have this client who has a really small kitchen, kind of breakfast nook, and she wants a baby farm table, and it has to be custom made. It's I think we measured, it has to be like 36 by 71 or something weird. So we're going to go to our buddies Adams Furniture, and we're going to look at the bases and look at the tops and look at the finishes and kind of figure out what's right for her and get him going on a design. But we're always looking. I mean, there's so many artisans there that have helped us out in a pinch, from custom making vanities to porch swings to headboards. Just all kinds of stuff. Vintage linens, of course, the jewelry.
The angel guy.
Angel
guy. This guy makes angels from old kind of like trim parts, dowels and
piano legs, and I have a big one in my bedroom that I just adore. But so we're going to go there, and this is another thing I want to encourage people to do, and why antiques are cool. And you've got to think about mixing them in to whatever your decor is. If you're a traditional person, if you are urban farmhouse, if you are contemporary, antiques mix in so well. And they don't always have to be painted like we were talking about earlier. They really just add another layer, another texture, another story, some deeper authenticity to your home. So when I was starting out going to Scott's years ago, and I really didn't know what I was doing, I had this thing for little chairs, because little chairs can go anywhere. And there are some cool chairs, and I would just put them like in the corner of a bedroom, or just they're the kind that you can move them around. And I have a rocker in my, I'll never forget that. Remember, we found it at like Woodstock Furniture Market or something, and it was this old rocker, fully upholstered, and it was in green velvet. It was the ugliest thing you ever thought. I think I bought it for like $75. And I totally recovered it in this like taupe and cream houndstooth, and I love that chair. It is so comfortable, and I think it glides.
There's definitely something to be said about the quality of the things back then. I mean, they just made things to last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have this dead space in my new house, in my powder room, and so I had bought this small.
You have dead space somewhere?
No, I don't. I filled it, but when it was empty, I did. And I have this little bedside table that I had bought. I think it's Scott's, and I put it it's right by the toilet, and it holds all the toilet paper in the bottom, and then I have this huge apothecary jar that is filled with luxury hotel, shampoo, conditioner, yada yada. So if my guests forget their stuff, it's right there. So just all these ways to incorporate, like we're talking about, to incorporate art, to incorporate antiques, to incorporate collections into your home, because this is what makes a home. So like your back porch is like,
my back
to me,
porch
I love it.
Was a great mix.
It's an endless conversation.
Screened in porch. So I had this really pretty sideboard that I had in my living room, brown. I had thought about having it, redone at some point, but it never happened. And so we needed a bar out on the porch. And so I had looked on Etsy and some things and found some of these cool ones where they have the ice bucket mixed in, but they just look so industrial. I wanted something to have a little bit more character. I never did find that. So I looked at that sideboard and I'm like, it's got these side drawers. It's really long. I'm going to use that. So I needed it to be able to withstand kind of the elements. I mean, it's screened in, but it's still, would get some humidity and stuff. So I had it lacquered in green. It is so beautiful. It's so wide. I can put everything out. Above that, I have a antique mirror, which I love.
You kept the goldish, right?
I kept it the gold. Not everything had to be matchy-matchy, so it kind of reflects the outside. Then I have some
how about the
tape.
plant
plant stand I got. It's a vintage floor lamp, where the top part, the guts were taken out, and then a basket was put on top of it, and a plant sits in there.
It's so cool.
So it's really different. But then I've got the funky fans. So it all mixes together. But there's a little story about every little piece. And
there's no way you could replicate your porch. Nobody could ever copy it. It's so cool.
Yeah. You just kind of look around and you look at the things and you think, well, God, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? It's the unexpected, that really kind of makes it fun.
I love it. And you mixed it with all your Sunbrella fabrics, and it's weather worthy.
Yeah. Black, white, and lime green.
But yeah, I just love that. So with all of our shows, we want to end with something for you to think about, some inspirational quote. And this one is by Albert Hadley, who's a really well-known, iconic interior designer. And he said, "The essence of interior design will always be about people and how they live," which I think is very appropriate for today's conversation. "It is about the realities of what makes for an attractive, civilized, meaningful environment, not about fashion or what's in or what's out. This is not an easy job." Which is so true. We know that to be. People say, "Oh, you must have so much fun shopping for other people all day."
This is not an easy job.
Yeah. Oh, if you had any idea of what we do all day, you would not say that.
Anyway, so we are excited about the next episode. We're going to kind of change it up a little bit. Well, first off, we're going to be talking about the colors of the year for 2018. Everybody loves to hear the latest and greatest. And, we work with so many different colors, and there's certain grays that can turn bluish, so all the different hues, and we'll kind of explain how we select colors and, what we use in our projects and what we do not use in our projects. And then we have a little button on the side of if you go onto our website, Kandrac-Kole, Kandrac-Kole.com, and you click the podcast link, to the far right of the screen, there's a button that says, "Talk to us?"
Yep.
Yeah, talk to us. And you click that link and you can ask a question. So we would love for you to ask us any questions, whether it be about color or maybe anything else. We'll just kind of play by ear and take some questions for next week's show.
Because sometimes if Pantone says the color of the year is X, we might not agree with that. And we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, and then, we'll see. They get it right most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's really excited. I'm excited for people to call in and talk to us. So we got to hit the road. We are going to Scott's. We're going to go shop for our clients and have some fun. So remember to follow us on Kandrac-Kole.com. Check us all out. Our website will lead you to all of our social media links.
Yep.
#FollowTheFun.
And then also, we talk about so many things, and it might be hard for a lot of you to visualize some of the things we're talking about. So we're going to add in the show notes some photos of a lot of the things that we talk about. So if I'm sitting here talking about my green sideboard, there'll be a picture of it on the site so you can kind of see.
And we'll add a bunch of these to Instagram as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, y'all. See you next time.
Bye.
Join Joann and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram @Kandrac-Kole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at Kandrac-Kole.com for more information.